For my presentation, I decided to take the topic of bullying and teasing. And the reason that this stood out to me in the first place is because it is something that everyone sees and it is very applicable and it's something that needs to be brought to attention more often. So the topic that I have is bullying and teasing. So what is bullying? Simply put, it's a way to harm others. As I looked up definitions online as I did my research and in the book for the class, there was one definition that I really liked that Berger put very nicely. It says bullying is defined as repeated systematic attacks intended to harm those who are unable or unlikely to defend themselves. It occurs in every nation, in every community, and in every kind of school. What that says to me is this is something that is very common, and I think most people know that it does occur almost everywhere, and almost every child has experienced it in one way or another. So what we're going to talk about in this presentation is what is bullying, why does it happen, what types of bullying there is, and the consequences that it has on the victims that are bullied. So types of bullying. The most common one that people kind of see that is just in movies is the one that kind of just, when you think bullying, you think of someone getting their head put in a toilet, being punched, being put in a locker, fights, and that's physical. And what I have from PrevNet is hitting, pinching, shoving, or kicking, or things such as that. Physical, physical abuse is something that can leave an effect on the victim for a lifetime. First off, if there is something that they do to them physically that does hurt them, such as physical things, or the stress and trauma of that can affect them mentally later on in life as well. Next is verbal, which can be teasing, taunting, or name calling. And there's a lot of different ways that people can bully in a verbal sense. And this is also probably one of the most common ones that people also see. All of these are ones that are used every day in high schools, elementary schools, middle schools, and just in any daily life. Next is relational or just pure bullying, which is just trying to destroy their peer acceptance, as Berger says. And that can be any types. It could be trying to embarrass them in front of a crowd, saying something about them in front of the class, just kind of trying to embarrass them in front of everyone, in front of their peers, and kind of ruining their social acceptance. Next is cyberbullying. Nowadays, we see a lot more of this as younger kids are getting phones at a much younger age than they used to. Back when I was in elementary school, I didn't have a phone. I had no way to really be cyberbullied. But nowadays, we have fourth graders, third graders, fifth graders who have phones, who have smartphones, who see this every day. And what cyberbullying is, it's just using electronic means to harm another. That can be in any sort of form. It could be in a post, it could be in a text, a call, just something you don't do up to their face, but online. And this could also be connected to relational bullying because it could be to just embarrass them in front of a crowd, but this would be online, which can be used as the same thing. And obviously, there's other types of bullying as well, and all of these can go into different things, more extremes, less extremes. There's definitely a bunch of different ways that people bully. As I said at the very beginning, almost every child experiences it. And that is in Berger's textbooks that I found that. And as I was going through the topic and thinking about that, I was thinking about my own experiences. And I think it is very true that almost every kid experiences bullying in one type or another. Personally, for me and for all my siblings, I have seen it. When I was 12, I remember being bullied uh, a lot when I was on a cheer team. I remember coming home every day crying because I just didn't want to go. My family was struggling financially at that time, and every girl on the team would always come with nice shoes and a bow. And my bow was just a ribbon that I tied from my mom's craft drawer. And I remember getting made fun of for that and being called high shorts because I didn't have new shorts. I was just wearing whatever I could, some hand-me-downs from my sister. And that made me hate being with groups of girls and wanting to do things like that. And I was so scared to go to cheer every day. And then I felt that when I even quit and decided to go back to dance, but I just felt the anxiety of going back with a group of girls doing similar things. And I've seen it with my brother, who was bullied very hard in high school. And his was basically like what you'd see in a movie. He was being shoved in lockers and his face was being shoved in toilets. He kind of experienced the very extremes of bullying, and it made my brother have very bad anxiety, and he still has it to this day as a 32-year-old man. And bullying really can have long-term damages on kids, but it's also something that almost every child experiences in one way or another, small or big. Reasons bullying occur. One thing I found very interesting as I studied this was most bullies are not rejected. They're actually people that are very proud or people that actually are very confident. You would expect it to be people that maybe are insecure, and sometimes they are, obviously, but they are people that can be very confident. And I thought that was very interesting. I was thinking back on movies and just kind of things I've seen in the real world. And a lot of times they are the people that just kind of have this facade that they are very proud, they don't seem insecure, they don't seem like there's anything wrong in their lives. And but as I went into the further reasons for it, there's a bunch of different reasons why people bully. And we're gonna go over those things based off of some of the things I found online and in the textbook from Berger. So one of the first ones I found was stress and trauma. So this could be a lot of different things. It could be parents splitting up, death of a relative, or maybe like a new step sibling, or just something big that kind of adds trauma or just kind of freaks the kid out. And they take it out on other people. It's the only way that they can really express their stress or kind of get rid of it. It's just kind of like an outlet. Some people listen to music or do things like that, but for them, it's a way for them to kind of release it and put it into other people. And so through stress and drama, people bully. Another one is they've been bullied. So it's kind of a way to protect themselves from a familiar experience. So a lot of times if it kind of makes them feel more secure because they've been bullied and now they feel proud. Just like I was saying, sometimes bullies are very confident people and they're secure. So now they're going to bully people to make them feel the way they did because now they're at a point in life that they feel good. Next is family life. So this one can go into a lot of different things with family life, but obviously if they have no emotional support or communication, they can also feel like their family's not there, or there's abuse in the family, or their family is people that are more aggressive. So the bullying isn't that out of pocket for them because it's what they see, it's what they experience at home. And so they don't really think it is that weird. Or they don't have people that look at them great. And so bullying other people gives them power, makes them feel better. And that actually goes into the next point, which is low self-esteem or power. It's a way to kind of hide how they actually feel, kind of a facade. It makes them look better, makes them seem less insecure, but it's also a power wave. And when I was reading, I thought it was really interesting. It was saying most bullies are men. Actually, it occurs more in men than it does in females, and it kind of just talks about how men usually have more desire to have power. And so I thought that was interesting that that came with the low self-esteem and power that comes with people and their reasons for bullying. Next is relationships. The relationships aren't very secure. And that kind of to me was brought back to the family life. Just no emotional support or communication. They just don't really have outlets. Again, it's kind of another way for them to release their inner feelings and things they're struggling with. So consequences of bullying for a victim. So obviously, if you're being made fun of and you're being bullied, it's going to affect you. It's going to bring your confidence down. It's going to make you feel a little bit more worthless. And so there's a bunch of different things. The first one is psychological and mental consequences. This can be seen with depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, self-harming behavior, and so on. As I was talking about experiences that I've had in my real life, in the real world, I've seen this one take a lot into my brother. The psychological and mental consequences. He had really bad depression, anxiety from it, and it was hard watching him go through it. We definitely had a few scares because of it, but it's something that it just stuck with him. It just made him feel worthless. That's all he ever known was being put down. And then there's the physical consequences, which what I was saying is trauma, bullying can cause physical issues. Obviously, like I said, like if you get hit, you're gonna have a bruise, but it can have more lasting stuff like that, like trauma. Next is the social consequences. Victims have a lower social achievement. We were talking about how there's social bullying and stuff. It just makes you not want to be social, makes you not want to be in public, and you have a harder time trusting people and wanting to build relationships because the relationships you had were people bullying you and you being treated the way you were treated. Next are academic consequences. When I was reading about this in the book and also online, the book stated that people that are bullied do way worse in school than those that are not. You can see it in their grades. It can affect how well kids and teens perform in school, which makes sense because obviously they're having more stress at school than just their schoolwork. It's their social life, it's their self-esteem, it's everything that's involved with that. And so their academic success goes down quite a bit as well. One of the biggest consequences of bullying for a victim is it can last a lifetime. It's something that can really affect somebody and not go away, as Berger put it. And the ways that we can fix this, there's a bunch of different things we can do, but to bring it to light, bullying is something that really does affect people, and there's many reasons why people do it. There's underlying reasons, and there's reasons why victims feel the way they do. But the consequences of bullying for a victim is something that needs to be changed. And so this presentation was to bring to light why we need to change. And so the reasons we need to change are because it really can change the way someone's life goes. So thank you. And here are my references for my presentation.